John.
Your Mom Part 2.
It's Bone Temple. 28 years later.
That's what I'm talking about.
Well, it would have been like 28 years ago.
Starring Ralph Fiennes.
No. Be afraid. Be very afraid.
Mageddon 2026. And we're here to talk about which movie, fellas?
28 years later and The Bone Temple.
Bone Temple is out. How many months since the first 28 years later?
A year.
1 year to the day
year.
kind of thing?
It also helped that it was filmed.
Release
Yeah, I
date?
thought it was released in January.
Oh, it's like 6 months.
6 months?
Yeah, I didn't think it was a
No.
year. I remember
Like,
it was
It's
warm
like a
outside.
6-month
I thought it
turnaround.
was a year. Feels like
Yeah.
a year based on,
It was warm outside.
oh my God, 6 months. Well, I mean, it helps that they filmed it back to back with 28 years later,
Mhm.
as well as The Bone Temple. Two different directors, though. This one, the first 20 years later, directed by Danny Boyle. This one, directed by Nia DaCosta, who directed The Candyman, which we covered recently in a recent episode.
Get out of here.
Which was why we did that.
And it worked out because that Bone Temple kicked ass. But I do want to ask opinion if you think that if someone watches this, they should watch 28 years later first and then this immediately right after. Because I feel like watching the first film 28 years later is great. It's a good film, but this is 10 times better, The Bone Temple. And it definitely follows up nicely.
It absolutely follows up nicely. I do agree that it is a better movie. I think it was planned that way as well, planned to be deeper. The first movie kind of set as the reintroduction of the world and where it's gone since the first franchise ending, and forgetting the second movie, things like that.
100%
But-
forgetting. 100%.
John, what's your take on it?
Yeah. I really liked Bone Temple. Bone Temple has some moments that you don't expect from this type of movie. These like quiet, peaceful moments of Kelson and Sampson sitting and Kelson talking to Sampson and just like bonding with an alpha infected.
That was interesting. And that part of the movie was like Gorillas in the Mist for me a little bit. I wasn't sold on where they were going at all at that point. And I started to really become a believer that this is a great movie, or it's going to be a good movie at least about an hour into it. And then the end solidified it. I was like, all right, they nailed this thing. This was a good movie. And I've been thinking about it since we saw it, which is always a good sign too.
It's been on my mind lately, especially how they started off. They're continuing the story, of course, but the ending too. And the ending stuck with me, and we're going to cover the ending at the end. I don't want to spoil it yet, but how they connect it to the next film, which will be the third film in the 28 years later trilogy. I think it was done better than how they did in the first one, the 28 years later, which makes it definitely superior. I wonder if when the third film comes out, if they'll blend them together and do a release of both 28 years later and The Bone Temple. Some like Godfather, like
might.
a Godfather Part 2 situation.
Maybe. Wouldn't
They
be a bad
might.
idea.
I mean, I think they do that a little less now with how available things are on streaming and physical media that, you can just do it at home.
Right. You can just stream, you can do 9 hours of it on a Saturday because it's a blizzard outside. It's time to hit the Godfather trilogy. I hadn't seen the Godfather trilogy for years, and I love movies. People made fun of me. So I got like a stomach virus, and I was banished to the recliner for I think a 2-day stretch. I had to call out of work 2 days, and I finally watched the Godfather trilogy. I remember why I hadn't watched it. I kept falling asleep. It's that lonely saxophone. The music puts you out, dude. It's like,
I never had that problem with The Godfathers. Well, the first two.
Oh, yeah, the third one's not good.
No.
Say it.
No, the third one is a mess.
But
No, I have it. Apparently, there's a new cut of it that makes it somewhat better, but it's still got Sofia Coppola in it, and that was my big problem. And Andy Garcia. Was not very
No,
good. In
neither
that.
of them were good.
No.
Poor casting decisions. And I mean, the new cut saves the story a little bit, but I mean,
Every time I think I'm out, they pull me back in.
Yeah. The iconic lines.
Yeah.
But
Because you'd also reached like peak Pacino be just acting as like the over the top Al Pacino by that point too,
Was-
I think.
yeah,
1990.
he was
Because you really reached a point with him where he's like just the elevated Scarface version of him all the time.
he's great in Devil's Advocate with that persona too, where he's just like crazy the
Mhm.
whole movie.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
is.
But that does explain the streaming. I didn't mean for us all to go on a Godfather Pacino tangent. Wouldn't it be cool if Pacino was in this movie? If he was like one of the Jimmy fingers?
He is Jimmy.
So let's get into that actually. So we begin this movie with a real different vibe, and it's the culty leader-esque sort of Jimmy that we've been waiting for. And we made mention in the last episode that he's very much so a Clockwork Orange-y kind of vibe, but we found out that he's not quite based on that at all. It just sort of looked that way. He's based on something else.
He's based on something far
Yeah,
worse.
he is.
What is that, gentlemen?
That
He's based on a man named Jimmy Savile. Most of the things Jimmy Savile is known for are things that will get us banned from most platforms. What you get from Jimmy Savile is up until after he dies, he's like a British hero. People know who he is. He's respected. He's beloved, which really kind of works for 28 years later because this is the last time they've encountered Jimmy Savile in that world. He's still a hero. He's still a safe, welcoming person. And then you get the time jump that they get, but without the benefit of what comes after 2011 and Savile's real life death and the abuse allegations that, I mean, kind of equate him to a British Epstein, but maybe worse because he was sort of like a TV legend, well-known kind of guy.
you just put a twist on it for me because I didn't even think about that because of the time of the virus, they wouldn't have found out about all the horrible things. So that's why
That's
he's
true.
beloved. And I was trying to figure that out. John, you just cracked Pandora's box. Thank you on that one.
He's safe.
In that universe,
I mean, in England up until 2011, he's safe.
Wow.
Probably a little. I think the first allegations came out like 12 or 13, maybe, but
you're right.
they're
Oh,
bad.
they're
Why?
they're horrible. There's a documentary, I think, on Netflix about the whole ordeal.
There is,
yes. Very close to the royal family, very close to a lot of people. It's pretty scary, especially and he was introduced in the 50s. So imagine from the start of the 50s to his death, and yeah, pretty bad stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know enough about him to fully make a comparison, but it sort of feels like this would be somebody like Mr. Rogers turning out that way to Americans.
Yeah. You know what I think of Death to Smoochie? If they'd done that movie with this twist on it, because it's pretty much the vibe. Like the children's TV show is an absolute train wreck. The host is, I mean.
Don't do that to Rainbow Randolph.
Rainbow Randolph. Such a good movie. If you haven't seen Death to Smoochie, get out there and see it, or in there, your living room.
Very
and
very underrated film. It came out the same time 1 Hour Photo came out.
Very
Yeah,
different
dude.
directions.
Very much so.
So the Jimmy character is is made in the first movie. We actually see what happens to him in the first movie. That's his origin story. It's easy to forget about, and I don't know if that's the best choice on the filmmaker's part for this, because if we weren't so locked into this franchise, we probably would have forgotten about what makes him. And they show his father, who's a priest or a pastor,
Yep.
at the beginning, and he sees the infected as the sort of rapture bringing. I don't even know. Does he call them angels?
He considers them like the rapture, like they're demons from hell, and he's just kind of allowing them to take him in, and he's going to lead them in his own sick, demented way. He goes crazy.
And then he gets wrecked by them and turned into one of them.
And how Jimmy sees it, he's leading the pack towards him. So
right, Jimmy's view of things. And we do get reintroduced to that concept and see why Jimmy is the way he is and why he thinks the way he thinks. And this is his world from adolescence.
Yeah. And I mean, the way they tie things in with that is like things that you wouldn't have necessarily caught in the first one. Like the shadow of the cross on his father as he gets killed is inverted. And then that becomes Jimmy's worldview, this inverted cross Satanism, old Nick.
That's
idea.
I enjoy that, old Nick. Old Nick, Mr. Nick, they call him in the movie. I was kind of, I'm almost glad they didn't do like Scratch, Mr. Scratch or anything like that, too on the nose. It takes a while for us to get to that. And then we get to the other big persona in the movie, speaking of Mr. Nick, is Ray Fiennes, right?
I thought you were going to mention Sampson, but no, Ray Fiennes.
Well, we'll talk about him too. Yeah, Ray Fiennes, is it?
Ray Fiennes.
How do we pronounce it? Phineas?
Ralph Fiennes.
Ralph Fiennes.
But his first name is forgivable, but the Fiennes is definitely
Ralph Fiennes.
the last. So his character is, I forget his name actually.
Ian Kelson.
The doctor.
Kelson.
There he goes. Ian
Kelson.
Ian Kelson is he's thrust into the limelight for this, even more so than Spike. And it goes through sort of his arc of, like we alluded to earlier, of sort of trying to figure out the infected. And he does that by forging this cool relationship with the Alpha Sampson. But he does that by giving him morphine, which is a great way to make friends in general.
Lots of it.
Yeah, tons of it. He even takes a little himself. Just have a good time with his buddy. And he does. They sit there and they dope each other up, or he dopes him up, and then they hang out, like sitting on a tree stump in a field.
That was a big chance.
Sampson.
It's a big chance.
Oh,
he took.
huge. Well, at that point too, he doesn't care if he loses on it, and you get that when he does dope himself up and he passes out to see if Sampson will do anything when he wakes up, and he's just gone. And then he does the little dance.
They do a good job of expanding on what you knew about Kelson in the first movie, that he's built this temple to honor the dead. And the first time you see him that's really what he's doing. He's got another body. He's singing a Duran Duran song as he drags the body back to prepare it to add it to the
Very
temple.
Duran Duran heavy, by the way.
But then the second time you get a Duran Duran song, I think is more revelatory than anything else. I think that really shows you where Kelson's mindset is, because the second, I think it's the second, it might be the third Duran Duran song, but when they use Ordinary World, that's revelatory into the mind of Dr. Kelson too, because to me, that's what he's seeking in Sampson initially, is not so much the cure. He's thinking about that too, but he's also finding something normal in his life. Like he's now got a friend that he can spend time with, even if that friend can't talk back to him yet.
And Sampson, him nurturing the words from Sampson is a big part of the arc of the Sampson character in this as well. And his ultimate goal is to establish a way to cure Sampson. And I don't know, actually we can vector into that at this point. If you want, or we can swing back to Jimmy and the fingers.
If we can swing back
before we do that,
if we can swing back to Jimmy and his fingers, that cult-like status that Jimmy has, and the relationship with old Nick, and the Satanism that he portrays to his followers, the Jimmies. When we open up, Spike is getting initiated in this pool scene, this abandoned pool, I guess YMCA we can call it. And out of all the scenes that we're going to get to, this is the most goriest, but it's also the coolest. Because no, you wouldn't consider it the most
Not the
goriest?
goriest.
No, with the blood
No.
gushing out of the
No.
guy's leg.
No,
Nope.
sure. Even
Okay.
in the background and kind of obscured shirting is way worse.
Yeah.
Okay.
The
fair.
femoral artery
Fair.
severing portion of it, though, is visceral, and you get the splash, splash, splash. So Spike is put up against somebody who's far more capable than he is at fighting and hurting and taking somebody out. And Spike gets lucky
Yes.
because the guy's not really paying attention, and he gets him in the perfect little spot. And then what Ryan's talking about is
It's a lot.
that occurs.
Mhm.
It's like dead end.
And we get to see the other fingers go, "Oh, dude, you're done." And they're very
Yeah.
calm and matter of fact about it. Just like, "Oh, yep, that's it for you."
Yeah.
Yep.
Spike's the new Jimmy.
Yeah, it really establishes that for the fingers, Jimmy is the only one that they really care at all about. The rest of them are very replaceable.
It's all
Yep.
for charity, as Jimmy would say it. Lord Jimmy
Oh, the
Crystal.
charity.
Charity.
And then Spike gets brought into this world where they chance upon or hunt other humans, and they deliver acts of charity.
Yep.
To them,
Mhm.
and that really means what?
Death, destruction, chaos,
Death,
Torture.
all.
And
wait, and death in whatever form old Nick tells Jimmy, who, by the way, you never see Jimmy do anything.
that's true. The only
He
thing he
just
does
dies.
is he stabs one particular character we'll talk
Yep.
about later.
This just
Yep.
can
He just
this
got
connects that the Teletubbies are
Wild
demons
stuff.
too, by the way, because he's getting this from the Teletubbies.
Yeah, that is true.
Because that is the last show he watched. Jimmy is the sun, and these little fingers are the Teletubbies. That's how I see it.
He teaches some of them the dance as well, which is another thing. But
That was a curveball. That was-
Spike gets brought into
Jimmy
this
is-
world.
Jimmy is the sun and the sun in both spellings. You know, he's the sun in the Teletubbies, and he's also the sun at this point, claiming to be the son of Satan.
There's some good symbology in this movie.
Yes, there is.
Symbology. Yeah. And the symbolism runs deep with stuff that doesn't seem like it matters, but that's one of the things that makes the ending kind of land pretty well.
Oh yeah.
And you go, "Oh man, I thought this was all stupid, superfluous stuff. It all mattered." And I like that. Before we go any further, because we've kind of hit the midpoint, like where you are in the movie now is where everything's sort of coming together. Before we go any further, John, you have anything special for us today?
I have a game for you guys, and it might be the most diabolical one yet.
I'm ready.
Want to play a game?
I'm ready.
I don't know if
All right,
either of us
so-
are ready, Ryan.
It's gonna be a variation on our normal keep and cut, which I think from here forward I'm gonna call slasher
Yeah.
stash.
Like it.
All right.
You can slash it to get rid of it, or stash it to keep it.
Here we
And
go.
Right.
So I'm gonna I'm
Oh.
changing the
I
rules up
actually
a
like
little
this
bit.
This is
movie.
a good film.
Hold up before you get too
Don't you
far. I'm
throw
changing the
Salma
rules.
Hayek at us right away, by the way. And ask us
You
to-
guys can only keep
Okay.
3 or stash 3 slash 5. And I'm going to tell you right off the bat, these are all the middle movie in a trilogy.
Yeah.
The movies you slash disappear from the trilogy forever.
And you
The other two parts of the trilogy continue to exist.
I wonder if Godfather's going to come
Okay.
back into this conversation. All right.
but you need Desperado to kind of like exist in that, because like El Mariachi, it's like the Evil Dead situation. Desperado is a soft
Once
reboot.
upon a time
El
in
Mariachi.
Mexico. I'm going to slash this one because I don't care if this franchise dies. I liked it very much, but I have a feeling there's more coming. And if I have to cut 5,
But he said
I'm
evil. He's going to be really evil in this.
sure he is. Sure is.
Yes, but which direction am I going?
Yeah.
I like
Is this the best of the trilogies
the
or
worst.
Oh, if this is the best of the trilogies,
You know what?
yikes.
I'm gonna slash it. Use our new terminology. I love Desperado. I love the guitar scene. It has the machine gun. Danny Trejo's in it. Isn't Steve Buscemi in it? He's like works with him or something, right? Is it Steve Buscemi?
I think
Yeah,
so. I forget. The third one has a ton of people in it,
yeah, it
Yeah, the
does.
third one's
so it could be three.
stacked.
But I'll have to slash it. It's recommended though, especially on Snowmageddon if you're home for the next 2 days.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I really like
Got a
Desperado.
nice steel book.
Yeah, it's a good.
I know
movie.
where this is going.
Got a nice.
You do.
Oh,
All right, next.
Okay.
oh,
Dark Knight, boys.
we're gonna stash that definitely. We're
We have to stash that. I have to do the same.
You're talking to a Batman fan right now. It's like
It's just a great movie. It's arguably the best Batman movie ever made.
I will agree with that. Yes, and it's the Joker, and
Look at his face. Look at John. What are you doing over there, John?
Shameless confession. I hate this movie.
why? That I won't get why.
Number one, I think it's overhyped because of
The death.
Okay,
a death.
that's one.
Yes.
I agree.
I think it gets elevated because it's Heath Ledger's last movie, and I mean he's good. It's a good movie, but people talk about like this like it's a top 10 or 15 all time. Too far.
I'd say top 20.
No.
Like fifth.
No, I love what he
too
did
far.
with it. I love what he did with it. I feel like this performance with a plot like the third movie would have been even more epic because the plot of the second movie I don't love. I don't love the ferry scene, and I hate Maggie Gyllenhaal in it and stuff. But I hyper focus on him. Ledger's Joker to me is a fantastic portrayal, and I've never seen anything like it, and I like it. So I'm gonna agree to disagree. For once, I usually
right.
never ever disagree with John.
I can agree with John that there's an overhype because once he passed away, it was all that big focus. It is a really good though superhero film. It's a great drama, action thriller. I mean, like Heath Ledger, he kills it as the Joker, but it's also like this is where I get a question about it is what about Jack Nicholson? I'm a big Jack Nicholson fan when it comes to the live action version. I love Jack, but it's what version of the Joker you're looking at, with Jack Nicholson being more of the crime boss and Heath Ledger being that mix of the Batman from 1940 issue 1, where he was like this old crime boss, mixed with a little bit of the Killing Joke, which is the comedian version, which blends pretty well.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I feel like any of the Batman properties where the Joker pops up become immediately way elevated beyond what they necessarily deserve to be. I mean, even the Joaquin Phoenix Joker movie is fine, but it's not the hype.
Okay. Well, we're gonna have to debate about the Joker one day. That film.
But not today.
No, not
What's
today.
the next movie?
Now, next. Blade 2.
Cut.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Slash that sucker.
hold on. Did you say stash?
I meant slash. Pure action, bloody well done.
I'm gonna slash this one too. I like Blade 2, but I don't know what you're gonna put
Yeah.
on it. You put the Dark Knight on here? Like, what are you doing here?
And then he besmirched us for
You guys slash Del Toro?
I will slash this Del Toro, yes.
You guys,
I was just telling my barber how much I'm obsessed with Del Toro today, actually.
it's the beard.
All right, next. Beverly Hills Cop 2.
Oh, you're a bastard. Is what you are.
Mm.
Is this is the alphabet
Yes,
one,
it is.
right?
This is with Bridget Nielsen.
Yep.
The Alphabet Murders. I'm gonna slash this one. I do like this one too. I do like this sequel.
I'm keeping it. I'm stashing it.
Okay.
I'm doing it. Ooh, John knows I'm going to regret that decision, but I'm doing it anyway. Doing it anyway.
I'm up to 3-1. Okay. So I got
I love
Yep.
this movie. This movie was
You're-
a run on TBS kind of movie. It was on
Yep.
Saturday, and I watched it.
Yep. I love the first two Beverly Hills Cops.
Yeah, they're
the
great.
third one's rough. The fourth one's okay.
Yeah, I don't count the fourth one though.
Why not?
Because 4 is because it's not. You don't have the same feelings for it. Like it's sort of trying to extend a franchise by introducing other potentially interesting characters.
Like
And it's
Lethal Weapon
fine.
did.
It's a fine. Yeah, it's a fine little piece of nostalgia, but it's not 1 and 2.
I agree. I agree on that.
All right. Next. Evil
Keep.
Dead 2.
Stash. Stash.
Dash. I'm gonna have to cut every other movie. I can't cut Evil Dead 2. I could actually. Hold on, because it's really like kind of like just like Evil Dead 1,
But
with a little bit of a launch pad into Army of Darkness. See, if you were asking me to cut Army of Darkness, which is arguably not a horror movie, I would have more trouble because I just love that movie so much.
Evil Dead
John,
2 is hilarious though. It's got some funny moments. The hand.
I lied. I'm gonna slash it. And I stand by that. I'd rather keep Beverly Hills Cop 2 than Evil Dead 2. I stand by that.
You're waving your flag on that mountaintop right now. That snowy mountaintop.
You might feel pretty good about your decision. You may regret it. Let's see.
I mean,
Next. There it is.
I knew it was coming.
Hold on. So I got one more keep.
You have
One
keep.
stash.
You both only have one keep, one
And then how
stash.
many more movies? It's 3
One
more, right?
stash.
3 more.
Yep.
3 more or
You
2
each
more,
have
including
one-
this.
Including this, it's 3. You each have 1 more stash and
So
2
Dark Knight,
slashes.
Evil Dead 2. You know what? I'll keep Godfather Part 2. I'm okay with those 3. I am okay with those 3. Oh, wait.
I'm gonna
Hold on.
slash
Hold on.
it. It insists
Hold on,
upon itself.
Hold on. Hold on. You know what?
Yeah.
No, you know what? Cut it. You know what? Because I know where this is going. I know where this is going. And if it's going the way I'm thinking is, there is another sequel I'd rather keep. I'm sorry. Godfather Part 2. Keep throw away the gun. Keep the cannolis. That's all I'm going to say. Cut it.
All right.
Okay.
Kearns?
I'm still slashing it. Yeah. I liked it.
Oh, I love
It's a
one.
masterpiece.
Next.
Blah blah blah.
Ready?
Yes.
Here we go.
So I'll cut this. I'll cut this too.
Rohan will never ride to save you.
If number 1's the way I'm thinking it is, I'll be happy with my
This is a
choice.
trap for me. Is what this is. He laid this trap. It's like in Tremors when it dug the hole ahead of them. This is the hole,
But
and I'm gonna fall in
Is
it.
he?
I'm gonna fall in it. I'm gonna keep this. Lord of the Rings: The Two Towers is stashed for Kearns. I'm out of stashes.
All right.
Empire.
That means you're slashing the next one, and Ryan is
Empire.
keeping the next one. And you
Is it gonna
just
be
predicted
Star
it
Wars?
correctly. It is
Eh,
Empire
I'm okay
Strikes
with
Back.
that.
Yes.
I'm okay with slashing the best Star Wars movie.
That's why when I was gonna keep The Godfather, I was like, this man is gonna put Empire as number 1, and Empire is my favorite Star Wars film
Absolutely.
of all time.
it's the best
just-
one.
Oh,
It just
Just
is.
the turn.
Because
The Sith win, the bad guys win.
And-
It just
you know why I have to stash this one is because of how important it is to the whole trilogy. You can watch A New Hope and Return of the Jedi, but you're gonna miss a whole bunch from Empire.
yes, you are. Plus, you miss out on the
Yeah.
baddest line and like the badass
Wait.
line in the whole movie.
Where are
Wait,
there
who-
3 Millennium Falcons in this image? Am I on crack
Are
here?
there?
Is that
No, there's
3? There's like
No.
pods
Yeah.
flying away or something. Okay.
Yes. Those are the ships they use on Hoth.
Got it.
I'm not nerdy
Now,
enough to know what
do
they're
I
called.
regret having Beverly Hills Cop 2 instead of this? Now, I mean, so we're talking about the original trilogy, but it is 9 movies, so I feel like this is also a lie.
The original.
That's movie
No, they're
5.
3 separate
Yep, they
trilogies.
are.
Yep, that's movie 5 in a 9 movie series that took what 4 decades to come out fully. So I don't know. You're gonna hear from my lawyer
I
on this
I
one.
accept this one. All right, you chose Beverly Hills Cop 2 over Empire Strikes Back. I remember that.
What did you choose?
Evil Dead 2, Dark Knight, and Empire Strikes Back. I
Yeah,
buried
that's fair.
Godfather Part 2 for a reason.
You did bury.
I'm proud of it. It's a great film, though. Watch that too. It's a great film.
Yeah, I screwed myself over with Beverly Hills Cop, but I mean, I just like that movie. It's nice. All right.
Stephen King. That Stephen King list really. That's the worst list. Don't worry. I still hold that title.
I didn't even remember it, to be honest with you. But
That's-
back to Bone Temple.
Back to Bone
Want to hit us
Temple.
with 2 reviews before we roll into the second half of the movie?
I actually didn't prep any reviews for this one because I don't want to. I don't want to read other people's opinions on
Okay.
this yet because I'm still working on my own.
Fair enough.
Which means
Fair enough.
we can do something original and do a Blue Star review today. Our own Blue Star review.
For this,
Our own Blue Star.
that would mean
huh?
we would consider this a Blue Star movie.
I mean, I'll throw it out there. But I mean, we got to talk about it more before we get to that part.
Blue Star movies like among your
Absolutely.
your greatest of all time kind of distinction.
Top 50 for this one.
I mean, that's not what a Blue Star is.
All right, that's
What we talked about for Blue Star was that
Three
it is to separate what a 5-star review has become, which is like everything gets 5 stars because people farm them. But if you do a Blue Star,
all right. Bronze.
that was the idea.
A bronze.
For a Bronze Star.
Throw bronze.
So this
Bronze Star.
we can do the actual 5-star rating at the end because this is not a Blue Star, I don't think, from any of us. But it's a great movie.
Yes.
Yeah. So we get to the point where the Jimmies encounter Dr. Kelson,
And that is
right?
interesting.
Or do you want to spend a little time on the farmhouse
Yes.
and Charity at the
Jump
the
through it.
farmhouse?
Yeah.
The gory scene.
Shirting. Shirting is definitely not pleasant.
So when we don't have to get too into describing what that is, but to deglove someone is known. And if you don't know what that is, look it up. And now shirting is that.
But don't do an image
No.
search.
I mean, live your life. Do what you got to do.
Just go. Okay, I mean, do what you got to do, but no, you're probably gonna regret image search.
Yeah, you just see it in the film. It's not as
And
bad
if you-
as expected, but the build up to it and how that scene
Yes.
at the breakfast table, it's uncomfortable, very uncomfortable.
How extended it is. Like it's not a lot of screen time, but when they start this process with these 4 people, it's daylight, and by the time they're on to the last guy, it's the middle of
Yep.
the night. Like they've spent the whole day on this with the one pregnant lady hiding in the barn watching.
Yeah, she's in the loft. And that's also pretty brutal to watch your loved ones endure something like that. Which hits you, and that
And
takes the
then-
movie in a darker direction than you might have thought it would be going.
And Spike outside vomiting and crying and bonding with one of the female Jimmies.
Which is it's never really flushed out why she's like taking him under her wing, because she's pretty well indoctrinated. She's the one who sees the Dr. Ian and sees and assumes he's Mr. Nick and brings that information
Yes.
back to Jimmy.
But she's also the one who is the most skeptical of Jimmy.
Yes.
And that skepticism helps her kind of to see the true, I guess, whatever his lies are, because she believes in the whole old Nick thing and all that, but she doesn't believe him. And I feel like she takes Spike under
Yeah.
her wing because she feels sorry. She realizes like this isn't his life, but he he's stuck now. He's screwed. So what's the next thing? Just help him out as much as she can. In my opinion.
When we hit this point in the plot, we're left with like, whether will Spike become like them, which we always assumed he wouldn't. I don't think any of us thought he was going to become evil or anything. Where are they going? Is Jimmy going to get his comeuppance? What's happening with Sampson and Ray Fiennes? And this is where that convergence incident happens, where John says Jimmy actually goes to speak with the doctor, and he says he loves his work, and then he tells him, hey, I need you to do something for me.
I need you to be Satan and my father for performatively for my fingers, so they don't, whatever he's worried that they're gonna do. I think it's almost just straight performative, because you could go down there and say, oh nope, that's not him, and just take out Dr. Kelson. And Jimmy, this is a big mistake by Jimmy.
Oh, huge.
Really.
He wants exactly what he gets from Ian too, which is an amazing experience for them. But at the same time, it goes left on him real quick. And that happens because, well, actually put a pin in that till after you guys describe what the best part of the movie is.
Well, I was
really
real quick. Jimmy's kind of cornered at that point, because I feel like at the barn and stuff, there's like a little scurry. There's like a little incident between one of the survivors. There's hooks flying everywhere. And there's a fight, and a couple of them die. So a lot of them don't believe that Jimmy is this power that he like brings to the table. It's not who they see him as anymore. So he's kind of trapped and cornered to do this. He's kind of forced to do this in his own way.
I mean, it's sort of, he sort of traps himself, because after things in the barn go a little bit south and a couple Jimmys die, Spike lets the pregnant lady escape. I mean, literally lets her escape, begs her to take him with him, and gets whacked pretty good for it. But so Jimmy is going to punish Spike in some way, shape, or form for that escape. And it's the Jimmy that he is bonded with that sort of steps up and says, wait, old Nick.
Yeah, I found
you
old
can go
Nick.
see him and let him decide.
And distracts from that whole situation, because Spike's about done at that point. He's proving to be completely useless to Jimmy. A liability. So at that point in the movie, we sort of get Jimmy stuck in this sort of catch-22 situation. He goes, speaks with the doctor. The doctor agrees because he sees the writing on the wall. But at that point, he also knows that Sampson is out there, and he has administered a cure to him already. And this is my least favorite part of the movie. We go through this whole arc with Sampson and how he's becoming sort of domesticated and whatnot by morphine. But then Ian's like, oh, you know what? Now is the time. I've got to give him the antidote. And he opens up his journal. So he has been working on it for a while, but then he's just like, oh, we'll try this. He puts it together and he's cured this thing that nobody's found the cure for in 28 years.
Cured or stabilized?
Interesting. Well, I think they're one and the same, because Sampson doesn't
because he
shrink down or anything.
No, and he doesn't necessarily become less violent.
But he has the capability.
He's more introspective after the cure. He seems more aware and more human.
It's controlled anger, like in the. Oh, well, if we're getting to it, when he's exploring after, he takes his shrooms, pills, whatever we're going to call it, the concoction, he's wandering through the forest, and he goes into this train car, the train car that's from the first film, and it makes a reappearance, and he sits down, he's got a memory, and he encounters these infected, and he's like, oh,
he remembers when he was turned, kind of.
Yeah, and like when he fights them, it's not like, it's a different fight when he's infected from the last film to this film, where it's got more of a control, because he knows what he's doing, but the movement is more human and more, I have strength and I have this power, while in the last one it's more uncontrollable chaos, where he's just ripping people left and right, going for it, wow, this is a little more controlled chaos. Because he's throwing them all over,
Mhm.
throwing them out of windows. It's like a Royal Rumble.
Yeah, it's cool, and you're getting that action-packed dismembering of people
Yeah.
you don't care about. So you're just
Mhm.
like pretty guilt-free. It's good stuff.
And he's covered this time. No dong situation.
Yeah,
we're
we got
halfway.
enough
At
of
that
that in the
point,
beginning, right?
At that point, I mean, you still get quite a bit of Sampson dong and a bit of Rafe Fiennes
Ralph
dong
Phineas?
too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's his stage name for
Ralph
this episode.
Phineas.
Phineas Finger. But yeah, so to that point in the movie, we shoot over, and now we can talk about the best scene in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Well,
Night falls. Jimmy's bringing his fingers, and Kelson has prepared a performance to sell him, and it is incredible.
Right.
So Kelson's all set up. He's got fire ringing the bone temple. He's brought his record player up. You don't see him for a minute, but you hear that iconic intro of Number of the Beast, that Vincent Price sound alike. Let him who hath understanding reckon the number of the beast. And there is Rafe Fiennes, clearly having studied Bruce Dickinson live performances, because he is doing Bruce Dickinson cosplay, at least performatively. You know, he's got the black eye paint and, you know, a leather, and you think he is the devil in that moment. He's what somebody who, I mean, most of the Jimmies probably were born during these 28 years. But he is exactly what somebody inexperienced would believe the devil to be.
yeah, 100%. The makeup is on point. I like what he did with the lanterns too around the temple, particularly the spire. That was pretty sick as well. I like those little aesthetic things. That scene was awesome, and it was very fan servicey, for sure. But it lands so hard. It's perfect.
I was singing the song in the theater. I was like so happy that they did that. And I agree with Solomon. Like, if you see Iron Maiden live, Bruce Dickinson is awesome. He's a madman. And Ralph Fiennes does a great job. I'm
Close.
trying. At least I tried. He does a great job copying Bruce's movements. And again, just the echo and the beginning, it's just, it hits and it works because of the idea. And yeah, it's a fan service, but it's not a bad fan service. It's a good fan service.
And you know, his performance in these moments pulls the fingers in. Like Jimmy in that moment knows that this is all performance, but the fingers, except for Spike, who knows exactly what's going on here, the fingers are just pulled in like, holy crap, we are actually meeting Satan.
It's wild, and it's worked out perfectly until Ian sees Spike, and he knows exactly what's going on there because he knows Spike, and he goes, he pulls a little switcherooski, a little Uno reverse on Jimmy, which is great. It was a great portion of the plot, and Jimmy even calls it out, and he's like, "Oh, you're turning the tables on me, huh?" And he calls the fingers to go after Jimmy.
And yeah, and they do. I mean, the fingers really, you know, recognize we're going with Satan and not this guy,
which is hilarious. And then Jimmy does a quick little to say, "Oh, well, no, it's not really him, and let me show you. I'll prove it to you." And he gives him the shiv. And that's the end of Ian. Well, not the immediate end, but the beginning of the end for Ian. But it still works out because
it's also the end for old Jimmy Christ, who winds up inverted, crucified.
Pretty sick scene.
And
done by Kay, the Jimmy. She goes, not haywire, but she kills the other Jimmies, and then she does that favor for Dr. Kelson.
I mean, because even sort of in the recognition that maybe that's not Satan, it's still close enough for her. And it's still, I think, the betrayal of following Jimmy for however long she's been there.
True.
Yeah, she doesn't want to
And
be
she
under
gets him.
him. And you can tell that
Mhm.
that's kind of the direction that she's heading in for a while, but she just waited for her opportunity, and here it is.
Yep.
And
Yep.
Spike gets his escape, and we actually get what we wanted too, which was not two Jimmy movies with him being the big bad. I kind of hope that the third movie from this Launchpad pushes toward the infected more and giving us, getting back to the roots of the franchise.
Well, I mean, at this point, we get Sampson, who comes back. He brings Dr. Kelson to his resting place, so we can say, and he's going on his own adventure. Jimmy gets destroyed by some infected, which is an awesome jump scare, right in your face.
I believe that was Sampson. That's what I choose to believe that end
That's
is Sampson.
Sampson.
That he moves Kelson and then comes back to take care
I
of
feel
Jimmy.
like though if he just walks away, it shows that Sampson's now becoming more human again. He's like that blend, while it being another infected kind of gives it more of a like Jimmy just becoming that random, which is that whole world. It's a random time of dying or
But-
living.
What's a more human impulse than revenge?
But Sampson, I feel, is such a subtle giant because Dr. Kelson was such a nice man, even though he was listening to Iron Maiden. He was listening to some Dio, dancing in the sun.
That's his man. That sort of goes back to what I was talking about before, the times of them bonding. Like, even though Sampson can't talk for a good chunk of that, Sampson does seem to be getting something besides just morphine high sitting with Dr. Kelson. Because like he's humanizing before he gets the cure.
Which is kind of proven by the choice for him to not tear him apart when he's laying next to him and the morphine wears off. Now you can make the argument that there was still some effect on him as he wandered away, yada, yada, yada. But we see restraint building in him. I agree, John. That's true.
Risky. Very risky.
So that's as we segue to the actual conclusion, we get a scene with an old favorite, everybody. We all thought he was an infected in the trailer. We got a little misdirection there, but who is it?
It's Robert Carlyle.
Robert Carlyle. And if we don't
Back
know
again.
him from his character name, who's plays Robert Carlyle?
Robert Carlyle.
Robert Carlyle plays.
I can't remember the character name.
Not Robert Carlyle.
Cillian Murphy?
Cillian Murphy.
Yeah,
Oh, Cillian Murphy.
that's
I'm sorry.
alluding
Why didn't
to.
I have Robert
I
Carlyle?
was like, Robert
I was
Carlyle.
Cillian
I'm
Murphy.
trying to think, what's his name in the first movie too? Because I was like, Robert Carlyle doesn't sound
I
right.
still
but
don't
John
remember.
must know.
I still don't remember. No, I got 1 and 2 confused in my head, and I have for like 2 or 3 days now. I've been saying that to
no.
myself.
like Robert.
John, we can't. You're like
Yeah.
infallible with the knowledge. We
Yeah.
can't have you making mistakes.
No, I do that though. I get names messed up in my head sometimes.
Shows we're all human.
So we see him with his daughter, who looks a lot like the female lead in 28 Days Later, and we don't see her. We don't know if she's out of the picture, but I have a feeling she might be out of the picture. So
I mean, she seems out of the picture.
Yeah.
we got daughter and dad, and he's teaching her history, teaching her something, and then we see Spike and Kay running away from and effectively evading a pack. And they grab the rifle and they go down to help, and that's where we're going to start the next movie. So, I mean, it was good. It was good for a lot of reasons, but it was just good.
Yep. You right. I think, Kearns, you brought up the point. We really only needed one movie where Jimmy is the villain.
Yeah.
It's not. He's a good character, but he's not really a deep enough character to carry multiple movies as a villain.
Right.
You establish he's violent, that he, is a Satanist, that he is, controlling cult leader Jim Jonesy. But, that's not a character that needs to go on.
Mm-hmm. And they find a way to vanquish him and get back to the main issue at hand, which is the fact that we're in a post-apocalyptic wasteland with infected running around and massacring people to this day, 28 days later,
Yep. And
or 28 years later. I mean,
and you set up some interesting dynamics between Cillian Murphy's character is Jim and his
There it is.
daughter, and Jimmy and Spike. You know, in Jim's daughter is being raised like kind of like a normal kid. She's getting real schoolwork. She's like, you know, it's kind of a cute little moment where he's like, you know, be prepared. This could be on the test tomorrow.
giving her
And she
the
calls him out. Well, aren't you making the test? You know, like giving her history lessons and, you know, not survival where, you know, you're going to get Spike next to her, roughly the same age, and you're going to get a kid who's just raised in the infected culture and life and survival.
right. It's a good point out too. I'm interested to see where they go with it and how the kids play into it, and if Spike's dad's character becomes a bigger part of the third movie. We kind of talked about that a little bit amongst ourselves. But all in all, I think it's time for us to give it a rating. What do you guys think?
Out of 5? Out of 5, I would say this one's 4.5 out of 5. Give it a 4.5.
Yeah, I like 4.5 for this one. I could.
Pacing, character development,
I like
just actors, the music, just story, and it's a sequel. It's right in the middle of a trilogy, and sometimes they're hits and sometimes they're misses, but this was a hit. Sorry, I didn't mean to step on you, John.
No, I agree. This is about a 4.5, and it elevates the first 28 years later too, because that was always my question about how I was going to feel about the first one, was where they were going with the second one with these characters and this storyline. And I loved what they did with it.
Yeah, they nailed it. It's the long con that I love to get wrapped up in when they have a vision throughout the whole thing. I agree. The director's name is
Nia DaCosta.
Say her name.
Nia DaCosta.
Yeah, say her
And
name.
she's really figured out how to do this without being over the top.
Yeah, that's
Like one of the things we talked in Candyman was like how much of the violence and the deaths are implied and off screen, and she kind of does the same thing with this one. You get the shirt scene in like more background than, you know, right in your face gore. And that's about as gory as this movie really gets.
yeah, they don't lean on it so much like that garbage movie, Bring Her Back. Yeah. Where they ruin the film by just making it all about that stuff. This is art. This is well done storytelling, as opposed to that pile of steaming garbage. That movie.
Bring Her Back is definitely 4.75, but I digress.
On Ryan's scale.
Knife biting and
I think this is a 4, by the way. I won't give it a 4.5 because that's like a roundup kind of thing. I'm going to give this a 4. There's a couple of things that didn't land well for me. I think it fits solidly in the 4 area. I'd like for it to be better. Or the third movie to be better, but I think a 4 for a second movie in a trilogy is a damn good thing.
No, that is.
You don't want it to be the best in the trilogy, like we were talking about earlier with The Dark Knight. It's that movie is arguably better than The Dark Knight Rises. You don't want to end. You want the last movie to be the best in the trilogy.
Yeah, it doesn't work like that sometimes.
I don't always feel that way. I feel like I want the second one to fill in the hole between the other two, like to be, here's some more exposition, here's some more of this, kind of like Empire does. To me, Empire is about as good a middle trilogy movie as anything.
Yeah, it's tricky because with 3 movies, you're trying to do one large story arc, and for me, the most impactful part's usually the climax, which happens at the end, and then that's the third movie. So like that's why I always get contaminated with it. But I see what you're saying too.
Yeah, because I a good part 2 sets you up for the climax in the third one.
Agreed. Agreed. And like I was saying, it could either work or it can fail, and that kind of like leads to our top five today, at least on my end, and that's top five trilogies. And I
Oh,
went with my top five trilogy. So like, if your whistle's wet after seeing 28 years later, and 28 years later, the Bone Temple.
you should see a
Yeah,
doctor.
well, you should see a doctor, but you should, if you're waiting for the end of that trilogy, you should take a look at these trilogies. And I'm gonna start off with the bang. And number five, it's the Alien trilogy. And yeah, little controversy. We got Alien, you got Aliens, and then you got Alien 3. Alien 3, without the studio involvement, could have been a great film. And I know David Fincher, he disowns it, but his original, like, his view of it could have taken it somewhere. And at least we get the ending. Ripley dies. Spoiler, Ripley dies. She gets thrown in the lava. She's got an alien pregnant in her. But the setup between the first Alien, Aliens into Alien 3, it works. It works. Even though
I'm gonna put an alien in
I
there.
was gonna say, like, the way you said that was so, I don't know.
well, she is
Time to roll into number 4, Ryan.
number 4. This is going to be controversy because it's the Hannibal trilogy. And I'm not going with Red Dragon. We're going with the original trilogy. We're going with Manhunter, Silence of the Lambs, and then Hannibal. Because you can watch Red Dragon, but you watch the original, you get the vibe they're going with. They continued that with Silence of the Lambs, and then they go directly more into horror with Hannibal. But again, the setup, whether you switch or do the switcheroo with Red Dragon or Manhunter, it still works out and it's a decent horror drama trilogy. I know it's on that thin line of horror and drama, but it's a thin line, which leads to number 3, and that's the Evil Dead trilogy. This trilogy is amazing, from going from horror to comedy in a flash, even though the third film is 50-50 on whether it be considered horror or fantasy action adventure. It still hits the nerve, and it's wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, continuing the story. To number 2, which is recent, Ty West's X trilogy. Certain way you can watch it is you can watch it through X, Pearl, Maxine. I recommend watching it as starting with Pearl, showing who the villain is, to X, kind of showing where the villain has ended up, as well as this new generation of actors and actresses kind of crossing through this farm, to Maxine, which, ends the trilogy brilliantly. And it's another trilogy that's all over considered horror, but there's a lot of thriller in it, drama too.
And it's also a trilogy that 3 movies are not even remotely the same kind
Which
of
I
movie.
like too, because it's like slasher, psychological. I would say the third one's more noir style. Noir.
Yeah, the third one's like noir, psychological serial killer thrillery than horror even.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I just seen it recently. I love X, the first one, of course, but Maxine hit the nerve. But my number 1, though, you're gonna be. This is for John. I don't share a lot of love, and that's the Dead trilogy. That's night, that's dawn, that's day. It's the greatest trilogy, because it's like a roller coaster ride. You start off at the bottom with night, you start going to the top. You kind of start going through the craziness of the curves with dawn, and then day kind of gets you settled in. And it's just like, listen, you're snowed in. You're snowed in today. You're snowed in like another day. I mean, this is coming out a week later, so you might not be snowed in anymore. But if you have the time, check out these trilogies, especially the Dead trilogy. Now, John, I got to hear, what was your top 5? Because I did have a tough time coming up with the top 5 for this. So I want to see which way you went with it.
I had a couple ways I was going to go, but I settled on my most anticipated horror movies of 2026. Because this was right at the top, but now that we've seen it, and I realized as I was putting this list together, there is a definite theme. We'll see how many movies it takes for you guys to figure that one out. So my number 5 comes out on February 20th. It's called This Is Not a Test. And what I have of a plot is 5 students are forced to take shelter in their high school during a zombie outbreak. I watched the trailer before we started recording. It looks like it's gonna hit pretty good.
Okay.
And if not, it's still zombie mayhem and a lot of fun. My number 4, we're gonna go to a director who's made a couple of appearances on here, getting his hands on his first intellectual property, and that's Zach Kreger getting a Resident Evil movie.
He's doing Resident Evil. The Battery.
This one might actually bring that franchise back too.
I mean, and really, that's the thing. I have so badly for so many years wanted a good Resident Evil movie that, is true enough to the game, but not stuck in the game and not crap and not, really action more than it is horror. And I think I have some hope for what Zach Kreger can do with this franchise. And that is currently scheduled to come out September 18th.
That gives me a lot of hope because just to go into a side note with the Silent Hill film, the new one did not hit as expected because they don't get the clasp of that story. So hopefully Zach Kreger will bring the clasp, the grasp. There we go. They don't get the grasp of the story.
There it is. All
you
right.
can leave that in the clasp.
Anybody
There
here
it
who's
is.
familiar with Brian Keene and his work and his bookstore Vortex, his newsletter came out today, and he was talking about he went to see it because it's his it might have been his daughter's favorite franchise. So he did go out to see Silent Hill, and yeah. But he also made mention, more importantly than his opinion on it, he made mention of the franchise's marketing was abhorrent. He didn't even know there was a movie out, and we didn't either.
No, I've seen nothing. I mean, I knew it was coming out because I watch calendars and stuff for horror movies. I knew it was coming, but I've seen nothing. I don't think I saw a trailer. I don't think I saw an ad. I don't think anything.
There's another one out too. Bone Temple could have been better advertised as well, by the way.
Yeah.
But there's another horror movie in theaters right now as well. I forget the name of it, but it's also not my fault, I guess. But it's also not being advertised.
Is it Send Help?
Maybe,
Possibly.
maybe.
Because I've seen if it's Send Help, I've seen a bit for that, and I've seen they're hyping it mostly as the Sam Raimi return to horror.
Yep.
Gotcha.
There was a little rumbling on it because it's rated R, and it's his first R rating in a long while, too.
Mm-hmm. Which ties back into my number 3, which is coming out July 24th. And while it's not Sam Raimi, it is Evil Dead Burn.
Now, I'm interested to see if this one is like the first one. They went hard in the paint with the first new Evil Dead movie, and it mixed reception, obviously, and stuff. But I thought it was good for what they did.
There are not a lot of details available at the moment. It's a standalone, not a sequel to Evil Dead Rise. So it's a whole new story.
Which is
I've
probably
seen the
a good
cast.
thing.
I don't. What more do you have to do? Evil Dead Rise ends how it should end. It doesn't need more. So I'm curious to see what they do with that. I'll always go see an Evil Dead movie, so I'll be there, and hopefully it lives up. My number 2 is actually based on a book by David Koepp. Number 2. A book by David Koepp called Cold Storage. This comes out.
This one looks good.
February 13th.
This is an interesting,
February 13th.
very actiony, right?
So it can be your Valentine's Day movie. And cold storage is a parasitic fungus stored under a self-storage company escapes and begins to infect any living creature. To make matters worse, it multiplies in heat, and the once secure storage unit is rapidly warming. And you get Liam Neeson, You get Joe Keery from Stranger Things, and you get Georgina Campbell back, our barbarian
Okay.
friend.
It's a good lineup right there.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's got
Yeah,
the
it's a good
makings.
cast. Trailers look
Liam
pretty
Neeson.
good.
Jumping into horror now.
I mean, he's bounced in and out of horror
Fair.
before,
Dark Man.
or horror adjacent. You know, he's flirted with those lines. My number one, I mean, is really not a surprise. Although I'm not even convinced it's going to come out this year. It was supposed to come out last year. It's now scheduled for November. It does finally have a cast attached that includes Devon Sawa and the return of the Tar Man, and it is Return of the Living Dead.
Worse, that's the one you're most excited for.
Absolutely. The minimal plot I have 18 months after the events of the original, a trioxin 245 leak threatens a small town at Christmas.
So it is like
So it's going to be a Christmas movie too.
it's like a sequel then. It is a sequel.
It is a sequel. I listen. The likelihood is this is gonna stink. The director is the only thing I've ever seen that he did is a movie called Kill Her Goats, which was a mess. It had some moments, but it was overall a mess. I mean, but it's Return of the Living Dead, and I want to believe that someone's gonna make another good Return of the Living Dead movie.
Listen, if not, then this is your time to shine, John. We make a Return of the Living Dead film.
I just don't know if you can match the original. I just don't know.
No, their best bet is to do something unique and of them and try to get something that is as good as the original, but you can't match it and be the same thing as the original. That's the whole thing with remakes. You can't do it. Doesn't work. They got to add something, but usually they screw that up and we get mad.
Yep.
Anyway, all right, guys. Well,
Get out to the theaters when it's not snowing and go see Bone Temple.
you should. It's worth your money.
Yeah.
And we had a good time.
See ya.